think we've found it all? Think again. Discover the latest mysteries unearthed by archaeologists. While many groundbreaking archaeological finds were made from the 1900s to the turn of the century, the hunt for new discoveries is far from over. It seems there is always more to uncover, and often, these new finds raise more questions than they answer. From bizarre historical artifacts to mysterious relics, here are the 20 most puzzling archaeological finds recently uncovered that even experts can't explain. Number 20. Fox and mankind's companions. Canine and mankind have been known to have a long history. As early as 15,000 years ago, mankind has been maintaining close relations with dogs, and we've been treating these creatures as man's best friends since recorded history. It seems, however, that dogs aren't the only creatures that mankind saw as friends. In the windswept grasslands of Patagonia, Argentina, archaeologists discovered the remains of Dusan aus, a medium-sized fox akin to a jackal and the size of a German shepherd. This discovery revealed that 1,500 years ago, hunter-gatherers who roamed this region formed an unusual relationship with these creatures. As early as 1991, remains of both humans and foxes have been discovered in the region, most of the time in close proximity to each other. This suggests a close relationship between the foxes and the human community, possibly indicating that the foxes were not merely wild animals but cherished members of the human group. The research on the foxes' remains reveals fascinating details about their life and diet. Isotopic analysis of their teeth shows that the fox's diet included not only meat, as expected for a canid, but also plants, specifically a mesquite plant also consumed by the people they lived with. So yes, it's most likely that just like dogs today, foxes had a mutual relationship with humans over 1,500 years ago. However, there's one mysterious thing about these foxes. You see, having close ties with mankind should have raised their survivability, and yet, despite their close relationship with humans, the foxes of the Gibbos lineage went extinct about 500 years ago, and we're still not sure why. Now, just imagine how awesome it would be if this lineage persisted. But before you think about domesticating a fox, trust me, foxes today aren't meant to be domesticated, at least most of them. Number 19. Archaeological evidence for Bible. For years, the question as to whether the Bible truly dictates actual events has been a matter of debate, with the Holy Book being up to interpretation and not being straightforward in some of its parts. Believers and skeptics soon began a centuries-old debate. However, a recent study revealed that some of the events in the Bible are actually true. The research utilized radiocarbon dating and microarchaeology, essentially advanced analytical methods applied to minute material samples, to conduct this study. Researchers analyzed sediments and seeds discovered in Jerusalem's ancient city of David, one of the oldest parts of Jerusalem. By examining these materials and comparing them to atmospheric radiocarbon data from tree rings, researchers could more accurately date events from periods that were once difficult to study due to our limited technology. Now, what exactly did this new research reveal? Well, we've discovered that the initial settlement of Jerusalem began between the 12th and 10th centuries before Christ, with expansion noted by the 9th century before Christ. We also found out that there was an earthquake in the mid-8th century before Christ, which is an event that was referred to in the Bible. This is groundbreaking because this is the first time this disaster has had archaeological proof. This new understanding helps historians piece together the socio-political dynamics in Jerusalem leading up to its destruction by the Babylonians in 586 before Christ. Does it prove that the entirety of the Bible is true and absolute? Not entirely, but it's definitely a start to unraveling the secrets of the Holy Book. Number 18. Mother-daughter embrace in eternity. When the remains of two people buried arm in arm on top of a horse were discovered in Austria, it was assumed that these people locked in an embrace were lovers. But as it turned out, that might not be the case. These two skeletons were discovered during the construction of a parking garage at a train station site. Subsequent analysis revealed that they were buried around 1,800 years ago in the Roman era, but for quite a while, the relationship between the two was a mystery. However, recent DNA analysis revealed a different story. The skeletons are those of two women closely related and likely a mother and daughter. This was further supported by genetic tests, which showed they were first-degree relatives, with one woman aged between 40 and 60 and the other between 20 and 25 at the time of death. As it turned out, these two women had a close familial bond rather than a romantic one. Now, as for the reason why the two women were buried on top of a horse, it's still a complete mystery. It's possible that being buried with a horse was a practice to show the high social status of the two women, but it might also have had another meaning in Roman times. Number 17. Centuries-old helmets, hidden story. Recently, archaeologists excavating a burial mound in Croatia stumbled upon something interesting, an Illyrian helmet with an unexpected story. This rare find, one of only about 40 known helmets in Europe, was part of a larger archaeological project in the Pelgisac Peninsula. The characteristics of the helmet show that both Greek and Illyrian warriors most likely used it. It's made of bronze and designed to offer solid head protection, featuring a rectangular cutout for the face. This discovery was made near Zakovan, where the archaeological team also found other valuable artifacts, including bronze and silver fibulae, vases of Greek origin, and jewelry. So then, what's the unexpected story behind this normal-looking helmet? You see, archaeologists believe that perhaps this metal helmet may have been a votive offering or part of a cult practice that was carried out in Croatia a staggering 2,500 years ago. It was also believed that thousands of years ago, this helmet glistened under the sun when it was used in battle, which experts claim, and I quote, causes awe in the enemy. Now imagine what other artifacts will be discovered in the nation as excavations continue in the Pelgisac Peninsula. Number 16. Tiger's legendary sword's hefty price. You're looking at the most expensive sword in the world. With its features, this warrior sword seems like something created out of a fantasy movie. However, this ancient weapon, the Tipu Sultan sword, is the most historic and valuable blade ever forged. You see, this sword originally belonged to Tipu Sultan, a man often hailed as the Tiger of Mysore and ruler known for his fierce resistance against British colonial forces in India. Holding great power meant having only the best of the best weapons at his disposal. This sword, for instance, is just one of the many weapons Tipu Sultan wielded that's crafted with great technique and unattainable materials. So can you guess how much this valuable sword was sold for? $10,000 higher? $20,000 higher? $100,000 higher? Much, much higher. $17.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. This piece of sword ended up being sold at an auction for a staggering $17.5 million. Will this record be broken anytime soon? Well, only time will tell. Number 15. Precious medieval wedding band. Sometimes I think I'm lucky, and then I hear about people winning millions of dollars in the lottery or people who discover the greatest archaeological discoveries. This hobbyist metal detectorist is one of the blessed ones. David Bohr, a 69-year-old metal detector enthusiast, has recently discovered a stunning medieval wedding ring. Aside from its obvious historical value, it's also estimated to be worth around $47,000. Yes, you heard that right. David discovered this treasure near Dorset, England. Initially, he mistook the ring for mere wrapping paper due to its gold shine peeking through the dirt. Imagine his surprise when he realized that in his hands was a precious piece of jewelry. It's believed to have been a wedding gift from Sir Thomas Brooke to Lady Joan Brooke, inscribed in medieval French as, "I hold your faith, hold mine." What's more, the wedding band is also in almost perfect condition, making it an exceptional relic of medieval craftsmanship. With that being said, it was expected that the ring would have fetched an eye-watering price. Number 14. Vast ancient settlement uncovered. In the rolling fields of northeastern Serbia, archaeologists have made a monumental discovery, a vast 7,000-year-old farming settlement hidden in what was once thought to be, as experts claim, a huge void. With how vast Serbia is, it's easy to assume that there's nothing but barren land run by nature and wildlife in its most remote locations. And yet, a fully mapped area near Jovac revealed several ditches in the region after an anonymous local shared with archaeologists that there might be something in the area. Researchers began their exploration, and they weren't disappointed. The site, covering between 11 to 13 hectares, contains several settlements. Radiocarbon dating suggested that the site dates to between 5400 and 4400 before Christ, and although we're not sure about the people who once lived in the area, it's highly likely that these settlements were created by the Vinca culture, a group known to have existed in southeastern Europe around the time period. Moreover, the Vinca is also one of the first sedentary farming communities, which essentially means they're among the first ones who raised goats, cattle, and other livestock while farming. But that's not all. Researchers also discovered the remnants of many burnt houses along with numerous artifacts. Now, remember, the locals have known about these settlements for a long time. However, it's only this year that researchers got the chance to learn more about them. Doesn't this make you wonder what other things are lurking in the most remote places in the world without our knowledge? Number 13. Unearthed ancient Roman delicacy. Raise your hands if you like fish sauce. Not a fan? That's okay. This pungent condiment isn't really for everyone. But for those who appreciate its taste, it elevates every dish and gives that extra umami. Do you know who else loved fish sauce? The ancient Romans. Thousands of years ago, Greeks and Romans created garum and liquamen, two similar sauces made from fish. Throughout the years, Archaeologists have discovered vats of these sauces, but one of the biggest collections of fish sauce that we've learned of as of yet was found by researchers underwater. Yes, you heard that right. In 2019, archaeologists discovered a Roman shipwreck off the coast of Mau, Spain. The ship, known as the SES Fontelles, is a 1,700-year-old Roman vessel that has astonished archaeologists with its exceptional state of preservation and its cargo: wine, olive oil, and fish sauce. Lots and lots of fish sauce. The ship was preserved by sediments that shielded it from decay and oxygen exposure, allowing organic materials to survive the test of time. Among the findings were more than 300 amphorae, those traditional two-handled clay jars, some still bearing labels known as titulus pictus, detailing their contents, which include the much-revered Roman condiment garum. Now you're probably wondering what this condiment tastes like. Well, you can think about it like Roman Worcestershire sauce, but instead of tomatoes, it's made from fermented fish. Number 12. Treasures of Ancient Kingdom. Recently, researchers discovered an intriguing 2,200-year-old tomb in Wangdian near Hunan City, China. Archaeologists believe this tomb, which dates back to the more tumultuous Warring States era of the nation, belonged to a king of Chu. The tomb, marked by its grandeur and scale, is considered the largest from this era. Over 1,000 artifacts were discovered here, showing the Chu's mastery of metalwork, including bronze and their famed lacquerware. The artifacts recovered include an array of lacquerware intricately adorned with gold, silver, and mother-of-pearl, depicting motifs from nature and mythology. Politically, Chu was a mosaic of cultures due to its location in the Yi River Valley, blending northern and southern traditions. This fusion created a unique cultural identity, which was expressed through their art, governance, and military strategies. The tomb's treasures also include musical instruments and ritual vessels, suggesting a rich ceremonial life and sophisticated societal structures. Despite its might and cultural vibrancy, Chu eventually fell to the Qin state, marking a pivotal shift in Chinese history. And with the discovery of this tomb, we'll get to learn more about this interesting period. Number 11. Rare porcelain gallbladder unearthed. Now here's a relatively new discovery. Archaeologists have discovered the burial of a woman with a rare porcelain gallbladder. Her remains were found at a Mississippi mental asylum cemetery, and researchers believe the woman was interred in the property about 100 years ago. The Mississippi State Lunatic Asylum, operational from 1855 to 1935, was the final resting place for many patients whose remains were interred in simple pine coffins, marked only by wooden stakes. Now, what exactly is a porcelain gallbladder? It's not a porcelain-made model of the human organ, but rather the bladder itself. This rare condition happens when the gallbladder becomes encrusted with calcium, making it resemble porcelain. This is considered a medical rarity, and it's also rare to discover it in archaeological findings. You see, typically organs, including the gallbladder, immediately start to decay after death, so the presence of this porcelain gallbladder suggests that the woman was suffering from severe underlying illnesses that were never defined or diagnosed in her lifetime. Number 10. Ancient settlers' lava refuge. The toughest living things on Earth are usually microorganisms, but it's safe to say that humans are tough on their own. Even though we're more fragile than most microorganisms, we can withstand some pretty unbelievable circumstances. Did you know that our ancestors survived living in lava tubes? Recently, researchers in the M. Gerson lava tubes, naturally formed underground tunnels sculpted by ancient volcanic activity, discovered a history of human occupation dating back 7,000 years. Yes, you heard that right. A daunting group of settlers once called the lava tubes of Saudi Arabia their home. Recent archaeological findings revealed that thousands of years ago, settlers in the region found refuge in the lava tubes. In fact, it was a much safer environment compared to the harsh arid conditions of the surrounding desert. Researchers have unearthed evidence of repeated human occupation within these caves, ranging from the Neolithic Age to the Bronze Age. The cooler, stable climate inside the lava tubes helped preserve organic remains much better than the surface conditions, allowing archaeologists to piece together the lifestyles of these ancient inhabitants. As research continues, we might continue to learn more about these people who braved living in one of the most extreme regions on the planet. Number 9. Quest for Cleopatra's Lost Tomb. Deep beneath the sands near Alexandria, in the ancient temple of Taposiris Magna, a mysterious tunnel has been unearthed that could potentially lead to one of the most coveted archaeological finds, the tomb of Cleopatra, the last queen of Ptolemaic Egypt. This discovery, made by Kathleen Martinez, a persistent archaeologist from the University of Santo Domingo, might rewrite parts of history. The tunnel, impressively carved through solid rock, stretches over 4,260 feet and descends to about 42 feet below the temple. This tunnel is so incredible that experts have even dubbed it an engineering miracle. And so this feat of ancient construction has sparked immense excitement and speculation, especially for those who have been waiting for the discovery of Cleopatra's tomb. Martinez, who has devoted nearly 2 decades to searching for Cleopatra's final resting place, believes this tunnel might finally lead to the long-lost tomb of the fabled queen. Taposiris Magna, located west of Alexandria, has long been considered a significant archaeological site. Cleopatra VII, renowned for her beauty, intelligence, and tragic love stories with Roman leaders Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, was the last ruler of an independent Egypt before it became a province of the Roman Empire. Her death marked the end of both her dynasty and the era of Hellenistic Egypt. If the tomb of Queen Cleopatra is located, it could provide unparalleled insights into the last days of Cleopatra and the rituals surrounding her burial. The potential findings could also include artifacts, royal insignias, and possibly even the remains of Cleopatra herself, which would most likely be the next groundbreaking discovery linked to ancient Egypt following the discovery of King Tutankhamun's tomb. Number 8. Medieval etchings' hidden meanings. Did you know that graffiti existed as early as 2,500 years ago? Yes, it seems that even the ancients were interested in leaving their marks in every place their feet brought them to. A good number of these graffiti can be found across Europe, and among the people who study them is the Lincoln Medieval Graffiti Project, launched in 2013 by Porter. This organization has studied graffiti for over a decade since its creation. Experts from the project have discovered and studied countless medieval graffiti discovered across over 200 churches in Lincolnshire. Volunteers, armed with LED lights and digital photography, carefully document these historical etchings, revealing names and dates. Now, unlike the majority of modern graffiti, medieval ones were deliberate creations, which means they weren't simply left behind just for people to leave their marks. Several graffiti symbols have their own meanings. For example, ship carvings could signify prayers for safe travels or thanks for a journey completed. A straw man could also symbolize fertility, as it's known in pagan traditions. Although we're far from unraveling all the mysteries and secrets of this graffiti, we're making significant progress. This also makes you wonder just what other incredible and unexpected things will show up as we continue to study these ancient engravings. Number 7. Uncovering a magic mirror's secrets. The most incredible thing about ancient artifacts is that while most look simple at first glance, they secretly serve a deeper purpose or hide a clandestine feature. Take this mirror, for instance. This magic mirror was recently showcased in the Cincinnati Art Museum. Discovered tucked away in storage, this 15th or 16th century bronze mirror initially seemed unremarkable. However, its true nature was unveiled only in bright sunlight, revealing a hidden image through an ingenious play of light and reflection. The mirror's creation involves a complex technique where artisans cast images, words, or patterns onto one side of a bronze plate. The other side, like any polished ordinary mirror, is meticulously scraped and scratched at varying thicknesses. This creates subtle curvatures that reflect a hidden design from the back when light strikes it correctly, an effect known as light penetration. It's believed that a second bronze plate was later added to the back of the mirror, concealing the original embossed Buddha within. Now, what's so mysterious about this mirror? Before the invention of today's glass mirrors, hundreds if not thousands of polished bronze served as mirrors. These were made from ancient Egypt to the Indus Valley. Magic mirrors, in particular, however, were primarily attributed to ancient art in China during the Han Dynasty. But the exact magic mirrors have also been discovered in Japan, and so we're still quite unsure about the actual origin of this mirror. We do know that it's most likely used as a religious ornament in a temple or noble household, but we're still unsure as to which culture to attribute this creation. Number 6. Ancient elephant graveyard uncovered. In 2023, researchers digging along a dried-up riverbed in northern Florida stumbled upon something they didn't expect: elephants. More specifically, 6-million-year-old remains of them. To this day, this discovery is one of the largest and most complete fossil finds in North America. Despite being referred to as elephants, these 6-million-year-old remains actually belong to gomphithers. These creatures first appeared about 23 million years ago in Africa and eventually migrated across continents. They thrived in various environments, evolving unique features like a variety of tusk shapes and sizes, some even with a second set of tusks on their lower jaw. Now, there's something researchers were perplexed about in this discovery. Why did several of these creatures perish in the exact same place? Did these creatures come specifically to this spot when they felt like death was upon them? With how intelligent elephants are, this is possible. However, researchers believe that these creatures were just unfortunate enough to have been caught in a natural occurrence. Now it's time for today's topic. Archaeologists in Egypt made a shocking discovery that could unlock the secrets of mummification. Despite centuries of being studied, the sands of Egypt have continuously yielded the most groundbreaking discoveries, and recently, it seems like it revealed one of its most valuable secrets: the techniques used by ancient Egyptians in mummification. Ancient Egyptians weren't the only civilization that mummified the deceased, but it's undeniable that their technique is among the most refined. For so long, experts have been trying to figure out the secrets of this ancient mummification method, but our efforts were unsuccessful. That is, until recently, when archaeologists discovered an embalming workshop in a sarcophagus. By studying the vessels left behind in this embalming workshop, it's possible that we could finally discover the exact way ancient Egyptians cared for the dead in preparation for the afterlife. Number 5. Bosnian Pyramids' Controversial Origins. Nestled in the town of Visoko, Bosnia, are the Energy Pyramid Pits. Sounds intriguing, doesn't it? But what exactly are these formations? Bosnian pyramids first emerged in 2005 when businessman and self-proclaimed archaeologist Samir Osmanagic proposed that the nation's hills are ancient pyramids. Not only that, but he also claimed that they're far older than those in Egypt, suggesting the Bosnian pyramids are over 25,000 years old. With such audacious claims, he immediately caught the attention of experts and conspiracists from across the globe. Many experts, including archaeologists and geologists, argue that the hills are natural geological formations known as flatirons, shaped by erosions and environmental factors over millennia. The European Association of Archaeologists and other scholars have critiqued Osmanagic's claims as unscientific, labeling them a cruel hoax on the public. However, there's still a persisting belief that the Bosnian pyramids were once the home of a great civilization grander than the ones we've studied so far. An audacious claim or an unbelievable truth? I'll let you be the judge. Number 4. Tragic Tale of Infant Mummy. Several years ago, archaeologists discovered the mummified remains of a child in the crypt of the Hellman family in Austria. It's believed that this young one was the firstborn son of a prominent Austrian count. This young life, spanning barely a year from 1625 to 1626, ended tragically early, but the secrets of his short existence have been revealed through a virtual autopsy. Utilizing cutting-edge CT scans alongside radiocarbon dating and meticulous historical records, scientists have uncovered the bittersweet story of this young one, who is believed to be named Richard Wilhelm. You see, findings suggest that despite his noble birth, Richard suffered from severe nutritional deficiencies, including a notable lack of vitamin D, which likely contributed to his death from pneumonia. This makes archaeologists ask an important question. If little Richard is of noble birth, why was he suffering from nutritional deficiencies? While we're not entirely sure, experts believe that little Richard was loved to death. Despite having deficiencies, recent studies revealed that the young one was actually a bit overweight. He also never received enough sunlight, so it's possible that he was pampered and loved, but the attention and care he received were in the wrong places. Number 3. City atop the reefs. Located on the island of Pohnpei, in the Federated States of Micronesia, is a unique city because it stands on a reef. Yes, you heard that right, this is Nan Madol. From the 13th to the 17th centuries, this settlement, consisting of 92 artificial islets, served as the home to the Sautelur dynasty. Today, archaeologists are still puzzled by how the people living on Nan Madol built such a significant settlement on top of coral reefs. After all, without pulleys, levers, or metal tools, the creation of these homes atop coral seems almost impossible. Although we've learned about those who have lived in Nan Madol, there are still a lot of questions as to how this settlement came to be and how it thrived for such a long period of time. Number 2. 1,600-year-old Irish inscriptions journey. Do you love gardening? Then you might want to watch out for any bizarre stones in your yard. You'll never know, you might find something significant, just like this man in England who, while weeding his garden, made an unexpected once-in-a-lifetime discovery, a stone that dates back to 1,600 years ago. This artifact, which dates back to the 5th century, initially sparked a bit of a puzzle among historians and archaeologists due to its unexpected location and the mystery surrounding its journey across the sea from Ireland to England. You see, despite being ancient Irish Ogham inscriptions, the stone was somehow found in an English garden. How could that be? Well, we're still not entirely sure. The inscription on the stone is carved in the Ogham script, an early medieval alphabet used primarily to write the early Irish language. This discovery might suggest that as early as 1,600 years ago, there was a large migration or trade between what is now Britain and Ireland. As for the purpose or the meaning of the inscription, we're still not entirely sure, but it could be a commemorative object carried by Irish Christian monks on a mission to convert the pagan Mercians who lived in Britain a long time ago. Number 1. Mysterious Yellow Brick Road. Perhaps you know that famous song by hit singer Elton John? That's what this geological formation was named after, the Yellow Brick Road. This alleged road was discovered by an oceanic expedition originally intending to examine a deep-sea ridge to the north of the Hawaiian Islands. Then they found a dried-out lakebed resembling a paved brick road. Cue the conspiracies and claims about aliens and Atlantis. Researchers were quick to claim that rather than a paved road, this is most likely a naturally made formation. But despite expert opinion, many continue to argue that the Yellow Brick Road is a remnant of a past unknown civilization. So what do you think about these discoveries? Perhaps I missed other great archaeological discoveries. If so, feel free to share them in the comments down below. Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on the screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video.